In the secret shipyards near Jupiter's moon Europa, engineer Juwu Park walked along the massive hull of the HSS Nemesis. The gleaming metal stretched far above her head. This ship was humanity's greatest achievement, and its biggest secret. For centuries, humans had been the underdogs in the galactic conclave. Alien species like the Frisians and Taurans looked down on Earth people. They forced humans to sign treaties that limited their military technology. Humans couldn't build strong warships or advanced weapons. The aliens called these peace treaties, but they were really about keeping humans weak and controlled. The Nemesis changed everything. Hidden from alien inspectors for years, the ship contained technology that the Conclave thought impossible for humans to create. Its quantum engines could move faster than any alien ship. Its adaptive weapons could learn and change during battle. Its shields could absorb enemy fire and turn it into usable energy. "Impressive, isn't it?" said Admiral Do-Yem Kim, stepping next to Juwu on the observation platform. His uniform was crisp, but dark circles under his eyes showed his exhaustion. "It's beautiful," Juwu replied, touching the railing. 5 years of my life went into those engine designs." Admiral Do-Yem nodded. "The Conclave delegation arrives tomorrow morning. They think they're here to inspect a standard heavy cruiser." Juwu's stomach tightened. "Are we sure about this? Once they see what we've built?" "The decision comes from the top," Do-Yem cut in. "We've been pushed around long enough. The Phrygians take our colony worlds. The Taurans block our trade ships. The Conclave does nothing to help us. This ship finally gives us a voice. But the treaties were designed to keep us weak," Do-Yem finished. "Earth Command believes it's time to show the galaxy that humans aren't second class anymore." Juwu looked back at the massive ship. She believed in the Nemesis project, but revealing it now seemed dangerous. The Conclave could react badly, very badly. "Come," said Do-Yem. "Let me show you the bridge systems. You haven't seen the final AI integration." As they walked through the ship's corridors, crew members saluted and technicians rushed past with equipment. Everyone worked with urgent purpose. The Nemesis wasn't just a warship. It was humanity's insurance policy against alien aggression. The bridge was a marvel of human engineering. Curved screens showed space around the ship. The captain's chair sat surrounded by control stations. Each station had holographic displays that responded to touch. "The AI core is fully online," said Minji Kang, the ship's systems officer. Her fingers moved quickly over her console. "All weapons systems responsive. Quantum displacement drive ready for initial testing." Do-Yem smiled. "Show Engineer Park the shield matrix." Minji brought up a 3D model of the ship surrounded by layered energy fields. "Triple-phase quantum shielding. It can absorb energy weapons and redirect the power to our systems. Nothing like it exists in Conclave space." Juwu watched the simulation with pride and worry. "If the Conclave sees this, they'll be angry," Do-Yem admitted. "But they'll also be forced to respect us. That's the point." As they continued the tour, neither noticed the maintenance worker watching from a corner. The worker's movements were slightly wrong. Too smooth, too precise. His eyes blinked too rarely. The disguised Vespid spy had been on the station for weeks. His insect species were masters of mimicry, able to alter their appearance to match almost any humanoid. He had gathered enough information about the Nemesis to shock his Conclave handlers. That night, as Juwu reviewed final systems in her quarters, an alert sounded throughout the station. Security teams rushed through corridors. The Vespid had been discovered trying to access restricted areas, but he managed to transmit partial data before being caught. Admiral Do-Yem called an emergency meeting with the project leaders. His face was grim as they gathered around the conference table. The Vespid agent was caught, but not before sending information about the Nemesis to his handlers. He told them, "We believe the Conclave now knows we have advanced technology on this station." "What does this mean for tomorrow's inspection?" asked Juwu. "It means we accelerate our plans," said Do-Yem. "The Nemesis must be ready to launch if necessary. The conclave delegates arriving tomorrow may not be coming just for inspection anymore. As the meeting ended, Ju looked through the viewport at the massive shape of the Nemesis. The ship that was supposed to secure humanity's future might now trigger its greatest crisis. Tomorrow would change everything, for the crew, for Earth, and for the entire galaxy. The morning of the conclave inspection began with tension aboard the Europa station. Engineer Ju Park hadn't slept. She stood in the docking bay with Admiral Do-Yeon Kim and other human officials, all wearing their best uniforms, waiting for the alien delegates to arrive. The conclave ship docked with precise movements. When the airlock opened, 6 aliens emerged. The Tauran Ambassador Telox led the group. His tall frame and ridged blue skin made him look fierce. Behind him came representatives from the Frisian Empire, the Vespid Collective, and 3 other major species. "Welcome to Europa Station," said Admiral Do-Yeon, bowing slightly. "We are honored by your presence." Ambassador Telox did not return the gesture. "Our visit today is not merely routine, Admiral. We received concerning information about activities here." Do-Yeon kept his face calm, but Ju noticed his hands tighten behind his back. "We are happy to address any concerns. Please, follow me to the observation deck." The tour began with standard areas, crew quarters, research labs, and small defensive systems that complied with treaty limits. The aliens seemed unimpressed but watchful. 2 hours passed without incident. Ju began to hope the spies' information hadn't been detailed enough to cause trouble. Then they reached the main shipyard area. "This section houses our new heavy cruiser prototype," Do-Yeon explained. "The HSS Nemesis is designed within all conclave treaty specifications." As the massive doors opened to reveal the ship, Ju saw Ambassador Telox's eyes narrow. The Nemesis looked too advanced, even from the outside. Its hull wasn't like standard human ships. The material shimmered with a faint blue energy field, the outer layer of the quantum shields, impossible to fully deactivate. "This does not appear to be a standard cruiser design," Telox said coldly. Do-Yeon guided them to a viewing platform. "We've made some aesthetic improvements, but I assure you, we request full specifications," interrupted the Frisian delegate, a reptilian female named Sis. Immediately, a human aide approached with data tablets, but his hand trembled and he stumbled. The tablet fell, hitting the floor wrong. Instead of shutting down, it projected the Nemesis's true specifications onto the wall. Detailed schematics showing the quantum displacement drive, the adaptive weapons array, and the triple phase shields. The room went silent. Then Ambassador Telox stepped back, his skin darkening with anger. "This vessel violates 17 separate articles of the Conclave Arms Limitation Treaty," he shouted, facial ridges pulsing dark blue. "The quantum displacement drive alone is prohibited technology." Do-Yeon tried to recover. "Ambassador, please understand. This is an experimental vessel. Research only. Only. It would never be deployed for combat purposes." "Do not insult our intelligence," hissed the Frisian delegate. "These are weapons systems, advanced weapons that your species is forbidden to develop." The Vespid representative clicked her mandibles rapidly, their version of urgent communication. "The conclave must be informed immediately. This threatens the balance of power in this sector." Ju watched the situation unravel. Years of secret work exposed in seconds. The human delegation tried to explain that the Nemesis was built defensively, a response to increasing encroachment on human colonies. The aliens weren't listening. Ambassador Telox tapped a device on his wrist, likely calling for additional ships. "This inspection is concluded. We are leaving, and reporting this treaty violation to the Conclave Security Council. Expect severe consequences." The aliens departed quickly, ignoring further explanations. Once they were gone, Admiral Do-Yeon called an emergency meeting in the Secure Command Center. "They'll be back with enforcement vessels," he said grimly. "We have hours, not days." The station commander looked pale. "What are our orders?" "I just received word from Earth Command," Do-young replied. The President will publicly agree to surrender the Nemesis for inspection and dismantling. This buys us time. Time for what? Asked Ju. To get the Nemesis out of here. Do-young turned to face her directly. Earth can't afford to lose this ship. It's our only leverage. You're being assigned to the crew, Ju. Your knowledge of the engines is essential. You mean, we're running? She asked. Not running. Deploying. Do-young handed her transfer orders. Captain So-hee Lee will command. You'll be her chief engineer. You have 6 hours to gather what you need and report to the Nemesis. On the main communication screen, they could see the Conclave ship already broadcasting across subspace. Within an hour, the Conclave Security Council had convened an emergency session. Their verdict was swift. The HSS Nemesis was declared illegal under galactic law and ordered to be surrendered immediately. As Ju packed her few belongings, she received a private message from the Earth President to all Nemesis crew. Get the ship out of Conclave space. You have 12 hours before I'm forced to reveal your position. The future of humanity may depend on your success. Outside the station, the first Conclave enforcement vessels began to appear. Ju Park's hands moved quickly over the engine controls aboard the HS Nemesis. The ship hummed with power as it accelerated away from Europa Station. Behind her, crew members rushed to their stations, many still carrying personal items hastily packed. Engine status? Asked Captain So-hee Lee from the command chair. She was younger than Ju expected. Maybe 35, with calm eyes and short black hair. Despite the rushed appointment, she carried herself with natural authority. Quantum displacement drive at 60% capacity, Ju replied. We can jump once we clear Jupiter's gravity well. The tactical officer, Hyunmoo Choi, spoke up. Captain, 3 Conclave ships have broken from Europa Station and are pursuing. Looks like Frisian battlecruisers. Captain So-hee nodded calmly. Time to intercept. 20 minutes at current speed, Hyunmoo said. So-hee turned to Ju. Can we jump sooner? The drive needs time to stabilize. Ju explained. Jumping too close to Jupiter could tear us apart. The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew what 3 Frisian battlecruisers meant. The lizard-like Frisians were known for their military prowess and their habit of shooting first and asking questions later. Then we'll have to face them. So he decided. Everyone to battle stations. Alarm tones sounded throughout the ship. Crew members who had never expected to see actual combat rushed to their posts. The Nemesis had been designed as the ultimate weapon, but its crew had been assembled in hours. Ju worked to optimize the engines while watching the main view screen. The 3 Frisian ships grew larger as they approached. Their curved predatory shapes reminded her of ancient Earth sharks. They're hailing us, reported Communications Officer Min-ho Kang. On screen, ordered Zoe. The face of a Frisian commander appeared, scaled skin, vertical pupils, and rows of sharp teeth visible as he spoke. Human vessel, this is Commander Drawl of the Frisian Defense Force. By order of the Conclave Security Council, power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. This is your only warning. Captain So-hee stood from her chair. This is Captain So-hee Lee of the Earth vessel Nemesis. We are on a scheduled test flight with permission from Earth Command. We have committed no hostile actions. Your vessel violates 17 Conclave treaties, the Frisian snarled. Surrender now, or we will open fire. The screen went dark. So-hee turned to her crew. They've taken position at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Standard containment formation. Ju studied her engine readouts. They were still 10 minutes from a safe jump point. Captain, she said quietly, the quantum shields have never been tested in actual combat. So-hee's expression remained calm. Then today will be quite educational for all of us. She addressed the bridge crew. They expect us to surrender. They have no idea what this ship can do. The tactical display showed the 3 Frisian ships moving into attack positions. Their latest encounter with Conclave forces had been close. Too close. A Tauran patrol had caught them refueling at an abandoned mining station. The Nemesis had escaped, but not before taking damage. "The hunt is getting more organized," Zoe said quietly. "They formed a special task force just for us. Commander Drak of the Tauran fleet leads it." Juwu had heard of Drak. The Tauran officer had a reputation for never giving up once he started hunting something. "What's our next move?" she asked. "We received a distress call from the human colony on Proxima B," Zoe explained. "Pirate raiders have the settlement surrounded. The Conclave forces in that sector are delayed." Juwu understood immediately. Despite being the most wanted ship in the galaxy, the Nemesis had been helping people, human and alien alike, for months. They appeared where they were needed most, then vanished before Conclave forces could arrive. "I'll have the drive ready in 90 minutes, Juwu promised. On the bridge, Officer Hyun-Woo Choi monitored long-range sensors. His job had become crucial, spotting Conclave hunters before they spotted the Nemesis. The tactical display showed red dots marking known patrol routes. "They're learning our patterns," he told Captain Zoe when she returned. "They've started positioning ships near distress calls and disaster areas. Because they know we'll come." Zoe nodded. "We're becoming predictable." "Not entirely," said Communications Officer Minho. "Look at this." He played a recording from a Conclave Security Council meeting that their systems had intercepted. On the screen, a tall Tauran with dark blue skin addressed the council. "Commander Drak, the human vessel continues to evade conventional tactics," Drak said. "It's not just the technology that makes the Nemesis dangerous. It's how they use it. Conventional military doctrine doesn't apply. They think differently." The recording showed images of the Nemesis appearing at various locations across the galaxy, stopping pirate attacks, evacuating civilians from natural disasters, even preventing a Frisian false flag operation against a Tauran colony. "They haven't fired a lethal shot since leaving Sol system," Drak continued. "They disable, they rescue, they protect, and then they vanish. They're not running. They're demonstrating. The question is, what message are they sending?" Captain Zoe turned off the recording. "An interesting assessment from our hunter." "He's right, though," said Minho. "We could have used this ship for revenge against those who pushed humans around for centuries. Instead, we've helped everyone we could, regardless of species." Zoe looked at the star map showing their journey over the past 6 months. "That was always the plan. The Nemesis wasn't built just to show our power. It was built to show what humanity could contribute if treated as equals." Their conversation was interrupted by an alert. Hyun-Woo checked his sensors. "2 Conclave cruisers just appeared at the edge of the system," he reported. "They're sweeping with quantum detection arrays." "New technology?" asked Zoe. "Yes," Juwu confirmed, joining them on the bridge. "They're adapting, learning from each encounter with us, just as our ship learns from each encounter with them." The Nemesis had evolved during their months on the run. Its adaptive systems improved with each challenge. The AI defense matrix grew more sophisticated. What had begun as an impressive warship was becoming something more, an almost living weapon that grew stronger with each test. "Can they detect us here?" Zoe asked. "Not yet," said Juwu. "But their technology is getting closer to tracking our quantum signature." Zoe considered their options. "We could keep running, but they'll catch up eventually. Every race in the galaxy is looking for us." "Maybe it's time we stopped running," suggested Minho. "Maybe it's time we delivered our message directly." "What do you mean?" asked Hyun-Woo. "We've been demonstrating our abilities in small ways," Minho explained. "What if we made a statement the entire galaxy couldn't ignore?" A slow smile spread across Captain Zoe's face. "You mean go to the one place no one would expect us to appear? The heart of it all. Conclave Prime," Juwu whispered. "The center of galactic government." "Exactly," said Zoe. "If we're going to change things, let's do it where everyone will notice." She turned to her crew. "Plot a course for Conclave Prime. It's time the galaxy heard what we have to say." As the Nemesis prepared to make its boldest move yet, Commander Drock's hunters continued their search, unaware that their quarry was about to turn the entire game upside down. The gleaming spires of Conclave Prime filled the main view screen of the Nemesis. The massive space station housed representatives from over 200 galactic species, the center of interstellar law and diplomacy for centuries. And now, after a daring quantum jump that bypassed all outer defenses, the most wanted human ship in history hovered less than a kilometer from its central dome. Alarms blared across the station. Defense ships scrambled to respond, but they held their fire, afraid of hitting the station itself. The Nemesis had positioned itself perfectly, too close to attack without risking Conclave Prime. On the bridge, Captain Zoe Lee stood calmly, watching the panic unfold. "Are we broadcasting on all frequencies?" she asked. "Yes, Captain," replied Minnow. "Every screen on Conclave Prime and every communication channel across major systems is receiving our signal." Zoe straightened her uniform and faced the camera. The crew watched with pride as their captain prepared to address the galaxy. "This is Captain Zoe Lee of the Earth vessel Nemesis," she began. "For 6 months, we have been hunted across the stars. Today, we come to speak directly to the Conclave and all peoples of the galaxy." Inside the Conclave chambers, representatives of hundreds of species watched in stunned silence as the human captain's face appeared on their screens. Security forces rushed about, but the Nemesis had not fired a single shot. For centuries, humanity has been relegated to second-class status in the galactic community, Zoe continued. Our colonies were raided by Frisians without consequence. Our trade routes were blocked by Taurans without justice. Our technology was restricted by treaties that applied only to us. The speech was being translated into over 200 languages simultaneously. On thousands of worlds, people stopped to watch. The Nemesis was built not for conquest, but for recognition, Zoe explained. In 6 months as fugitives, we have not taken a single life. We have used our advanced technology to save lives, both human and alien. We have proven ourselves worthy of respect. In the Conclave Security Center, Commander Drock watched with his arms crossed. "I told them the humans were sending a message," he muttered to his officers. "Now they deliver it to our doorstep." On the Nemesis, Jumu monitored the engine systems while listening to Zoe's speech. Their quantum shields were at maximum, ready to absorb any attack, but so far the Conclave forces were holding back, watching. "Today, we offer a choice," Zoe said. "Continue treating Earth as a technological backwater to be exploited, or recognize us as equals with a place at the decision-making table." She nodded to Minnow, who pressed a sequence of buttons. "We are now transmitting the complete technical specifications of the Nemesis to every major power in the Conclave. These are no longer secrets. We can build more ships like the Nemesis, or we can work together for mutual benefit." The transmission ended, but the Nemesis remained in position. For several tense minutes, no one moved. Then a communication request came through, from the Conclave High Council itself. "They want to talk," said Minnow, sounding surprised. "Open the channel," Zoe ordered. What followed was the most unusual negotiation in Conclave history. The Nemesis remained in orbit around Conclave Prime for 3 days. Diplomatic shuttles traveled between the station and the ship. News spread across the galaxy that humans, previously dismissed as a minor species, had forced the Conclave to the negotiating table. Inside the council chambers, debates raged. The Frisians demanded immediate military action against Earth. The Taurans, more practical, saw an opportunity for new alliances. Smaller species watched carefully, seeing in humanity a potential counterbalance to the domination of major powers. On the 4th day, the Nemesis received permission to dock at Conclave Prime. Captain Zoe and her senior officers were invited to address the full council, not as criminals, but as representatives of a power that could no longer be ignored. 3 weeks later, Ju stood in the Grand Assembly Hall watching as the Conclave Extended Species Rights Act was signed. The new treaty removed technological development restrictions on humanity and several other developing species. The Nemesis was formally recognized as a legitimate defensive vessel rather than an illegal weapons platform. Admiral Do-Yim Kim, newly appointed as Earth's representative to the Conclave Security Council, shook hands with Commander Drak, who had been assigned as the Tauran liaison to Earth. From hunter to colleague, Do-Yun observed with a smile. Things change quickly. Your ship changed everything, Drak admitted. But it was how you used it that made the difference. At a nearby podium, Ju demonstrated the next generation of human innovation. Not weapons, but revolutionary shield technology that could protect colonies from natural disasters and asteroid impacts. They feared what we might destroy, she told the assembled delegates. Now they'll see what we can build. As she spoke, the Nemesis orbited peacefully above, no longer a fugitive but a symbol. What had begun as humanity's desperate gamble had become the catalyst for a new era of cooperation. The most powerful human warship ever built had achieved its greatest victory not through battle, but through the courage to offer peace from a position of strength. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again.